Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church in Columbia, South Carolina, where we're part of the ELCA. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. Let's start today with a story we all know. One day, Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through it. A man was there named Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was rich. He was trying to see who Jesus was, but on account of the crowd he could not because he was short in stature. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore tree to see him because he was going to pass that way. When Jesus came to the place, he looked up and said to him, "Zacchaeus, hurry and come down, for I must stay at your house today." So he hurried down and was happy to welcome him. All who saw it began to grumble and said, "He is gone to be the guest of one who is a sinner." Zacchaeus stood there and said to the Lord, "Look, half of my possessions, Lord, I will give to the poor, and if I have defrauded anyone of anything, I will pay back 4 times as much." Then Jesus said to him, "Today salvation has come to this house, because he too is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek out and to save the lost." This week we've been looking at the biblical idea of hospitality, and that story about diminutive Zacchaeus brings up an interesting conundrum. Jesus invited himself over to Zacchaeus' house. Zacchaeus was his host, and yet it seems throughout the story that Jesus is the one showing hospitality. Jesus sees Zacchaeus' need and isolation in his society. Jesus ignored the grumbling of those who saw it and thought that Jesus shouldn't be going to this sinner's house. After all, holy people don't belong in the home of a hated tax collector, an outcast by any normal definition. Jesus went to his home, and Zacchaeus was transformed. Jesus wraps it all up with a great line about hospitality. The Son of Man came to seek out and to save the lost. Once again, we're back to something we talked a little about yesterday. You don't offer hospitality only to people like you. You don't begrudgingly give hospitality when someone in need is before you and you can't avoid it. No, Jesus came to seek out and save the lost. There's an intentionality there. It was his purpose in being here. That's the kind of hospitality Jesus gives to us, and the kind of hospitality Jesus gives to everyone, whether we like it or not. If we are going to be Christ's disciples, then that's the kind of hospitality we've got to live. We are to be intentional. We are to reach out to the poor, the isolated, the forgotten. We are to seek them out. There's perhaps another, even more striking example from the life of Jesus. The gospel writer John tells us that on the night of Jesus' arrest, as he and the disciples shared what we call the Last Supper together, Jesus got up from the meal. Now it appears that the disciple John was the host of the meal, and Jesus was the honored guest. Nevertheless, Jesus got up from the meal, took off his robe, tied a towel around himself, got a basin of water, and began to wash his disciples' feet. The roads were dusty, and it was the normal thing for a servant to wash the feet of guests at gatherings like this, but somehow that had not happened. Jesus did it for them all, a sure sign of humility in placing the needs of others before his own. His actions are a powerful statement of hospitality to us and how we should view each other. But before we leave that story, let's look a little deeper. Remember that Jesus knew what was going to happen. He knew that Judas would betray him, that he would be arrested, crucified, and then die. And still he washed feet. Still he washed Judas's feet. And later, Judas was included and welcomed into that first communion meal. To make it clear, Jesus showed hospitality and love even for the one who would betray him just hours later. His is a special kind of grace. Hospitality is a form of discipleship, one that we should aspire to. Jesus modeled both receiving and offering hospitality with humility and love. It's the hospitality Jesus gives to sinners like us. As we host Jesus in our hearts, may our hearts be open to the guests around us. May God's grace received become our grace lived. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.